right, let's get the latest that's making headlines in Sri Lanka. And our top focus, according to the Sri Lankan media, a petition has been filed in country's Supreme Court seeking an interim order restraining former Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa and other influential officials of the Rajapaksa regime from fleeing the country without the prior approval of the apex court. This after former Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa was turned back at the Colombo airport as he tried to flee the country through VIP terminal. According to reports, the petitioners requested the apex court to fix the hearing for July 14th, since there is a grave urgency involved. Meanwhile, the Lankan Air Force has rejected claims that President Gotabaya was currently staying at a private house belonging to Air Chief Marshal and called it as quote-unquote propaganda to tarnish the force's image. And for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Priyank, who's giving us these developments live from Sri Lanka's capital. Priyanka, thank you for joining us. The big question on everyone's mind is, where is the president of Sri Lanka?
See, there's no clue regarding the whereabouts of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Initially, there was information that he would have gone to a nearby island. Later to that, we also got to know that his vehicles were tracked near the Air Force station, but that did not happen. But in the meanwhile, these are the visuals of missing president of Sri Lanka, where the president has been missing and all these people have been the new occupant of the presidential house, which is a building which was made around 400 years back by the Dutches when they came to this location. Look at the kind of a crowd which has swelled up since early morning today, and this is also quite visibly seen since few days. Pankaj would zoom in and show you that these are the people, number of people, individuals who are there in this long queue since more than 4 days, and they have been waiting here to go and check out on the presidential place. The youth are here. You all of you have come together to see the president's house. What is the feeling? Because your country is going to get a new president very soon.
Yes, we are hoping a new president soon. Yes. We hope Parliament will bring us a new leader. So we came here to see the President House.
Did you manage to see the President's House, or your father or your forefathers, anyone who could have gone inside?
No, first time.
Ma'am, what is the message for the youth of Sri Lanka? What do you want? What are the expectations?
Very bad expectation for Sri Lanka.
Expectation. What do you want? What do you want from new government? Certainly she's unable to express herself, but these are the set of individuals, if you can look at the crowd. While talking about your question, certainly Gotabaya Rajapaksa has been in Sri Lanka only. This is quite visibly proven time and again by the statement which has come out from the Speaker of the House or the Prime Minister's office. But the fact remains that tomorrow is going to be a very important day for the people of Sri Lanka, because as it's expected and as it was promised by Gotabaya, it is quite possible that he will be resigning from his post. If that happens, then certainly within the 3 days of the time period, he has to inform the Speaker of the House according to the 1981 law for permission of the President, according to Clause 40. The existing Prime Minister of the country, who is Ranil Wickremesinghe, will have to sworn in as the interim President of Sri Lanka, because this country does not have the laws like India, like where the Prime Minister has the powers to appoint the cabinet. Here, the fact remains that all these individuals who have become president do have the power to appoint the cabinet. So the cabinet has already resigned. Tomorrow is the day when Gotabaya is expected to put in his papers. Later to that, Ranil Wickremesinghe is expected to become the interim Prime Minister. But then the actual fight will start happening, because the opposition party need to talk to all those party leaders who have a majority share, and later to that they have to decide that who will be the president. It is quite possible that the ruling party might propose the name of the Speaker of the House as the new president, and the leader of opposition, who is Sajid Premdasa, could be proposed as the new Prime Minister. But the opposition party is certainly not going to, accept that, because the number is certainly not mattering. It does not matter as of now, because it's public opinion which is the prime focus. Look at these individuals, young boys, girls, family members, kids. Every one has been standing in the queue, and this queue has gone for more than 2 to 3 kilometers. They have been waiting here, although the weather has become quite okay now. But since morning, while it was very warm weather on the sea coast of Sri Lanka in Colombo, these people have been waiting to just have a glimpse of the President's house. And similar kind of thing was also seen as a Prime Minister's residence. So tomorrow is a big day. Let's see what happens.
All right, Priyank, quickly, I want to understand one thing from you. Like you said, tomorrow is a very crucial day. Gotabaya Rajapaksa is all set to resign. There are reports that he fears that he might be detained. There are possibilities of his detention, which is why he is trying to escape to a country like Dubai, to a country like UAE. Because at the moment, being president, he enjoys the immunity and he cannot be arrested.
Yes, certainly, because there's a petition which has also been moved to the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka that the Rajpaksas should not leave the country till the time any investigation is over. But the fact remains, if you talk about legal perspective, there's no FIR against Gotabaya Rajapaksa. It's about the public perception where people are thinking that he's the one who has looted public's money. So public perception will certainly not have that kind of legal implication when the petition has been moved on. But if you look from the other perspective, that this is the thought process which people have, then it is quite possible that the court can also take cognizance of that and order that the Rajapaksa should not leave the country. This is what also happened yesterday, because the finance minister, the former finance minister of Sri Lanka, who is one of the family members of the Rajapaksas, Basil Rajapaksa, wanted to leave the country, but he was stopped at the airport at the silver passage which is being given to all these dignitaries. But in the meanwhile, as we have been talking about, we are waiting that what is going to be the future of Sri Lanka. This is the long queue which is leading towards the President's house. Thousands of people, lakhs in number, have been coming here till the time they actually have their new president in place.
All right, thank you, Priyank, for getting us that live report from the Sri Lankan capital. Tomorrow is a significant day where Gotabaya Rajapaksa is all set to resign, but there are lots and lots of ifs and buts. To understand these developments better, I'm joined by a special guest on the broadcast, Mr. Chamara Sumanapala, who's a writer and analyst from Sri Lanka. Mr. Sumanapala, thank you so much for being so patient and making time to speak to Mirror now. The big question on everyone's mind is, where is the Sri Lankan president? What happened yesterday at the airport with him and today with his brother, the former finance minister of Sri Lanka, bears testimony to the fact that the anger against the Rajapaksas brewing in the public has reached its peak. The big question is, where is the president?
Exactly. Actually, there are lots of rumors going around where the president is, but we can't really be sure about where he is actually located right now. I think they are not giving his precise location, maybe because they are in fear of further protests in some site. If he was reported that he was there, people might gather around that place, and then there'll be in more trouble. That might be the reason why they are not giving out a particular location or a place where he must be located. So he has promised, he has pledged that he will be resigning tomorrow. So people are waiting until that happens because still we are uncertain as to what will happen afterwards. There are different ideas about who will become the next president and all sorts of things. So with all these things in mind, I think the government is taking a precaution by not saying anything about where the president currently is, and there are all rumors going around, nothing conclusive.
Okay. Mrs. Sumanapala, one more thing, because there are speculations that President Rajapaksa fears that upon his resignation, there is a possibility of him being arrested or detained. What does the protocol say? Because as far as I understand, he enjoys the immunity from arrest as long as he is president, which is why these efforts are being made by the Rajapaksa family to flee to other countries.
Exactly. Now that is also something now after he becomes after he resigns, he might be as it was mentioned. There has been a motion that has been filed in the Supreme Court asking him to be prevented from leaving the country. So because there can be investigations that could restart about there were lots of cases that were there before Gotabaya Rajapaksa became president, and because of his immunity, those cases were discontinued. Maybe they will be resurfaced. That might be one reason why the Rajapaksa family is a bit afraid. On the other hand, they might be also trying to somehow get a favorable candidate as the president, and then maybe they will be able to escape whatever that can happen. So that might be also in their minds. So there are various uh, news coming from the grapevine, various rumors going around that they are trying to somehow get somebody that is favorable to them elected as the next president. So obviously, it will come to the courts, I think, in the long run. I don't know. I don't think that he will be detained just after he is resigned. So that won't be a problem right now in 1 or 2 days. But then in the long run, it can be a fear that the Rajapaksa family has.
All right. Thank you so much, Chamara Sumanapala, for making time and speaking to Mirror now. We really hope that there is a sense of calm and stability in Sri Lanka, and it happens as soon as possible without any loss of property or life, and this chaos fades away soon. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Moving on, as Sri Lanka continues to grapple with the unprecedented economic crisis, the Lankan government has roped in its army to oversee fuel distribution in the country. While people are queuing up for hours outside petrol and diesel stations, Times Network's Priyank gets us this report.
There is no government in place, and the president and the prime minister, both of them, are not visibly seen. There is a heavy deployment of the armed personnel, including the Air Force personnel, which has been done on the petrol station here in the city of Colombo. We have been observing that there's a huge queue of line, which is quite visibly seen. The local police personnel, along with the Air Force commandos, are trying to control the situation. There you can see the Air Force personnel are right now trying to talk to these people who have come here in search of fuel. There have been long queue, which is quite visible. So on the ground, the defense personnel have been brought here. The people who have been coming here in long number, the queue is subtly increasing here. On the other side, they are also waiting for the formation of the new government so that the situation can be brought under control. But till the time, the high measures which can be taken for the monetary issue, the situation will be remaining just like this.